Oscar BEVIS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm outside York Hall and I'm joined by Ohara Davies.
Oscar, IFL Oscar.
It doesn't have the ring to it.
Listen, I've never seen you before, but it's like my first time seeing you. I'm used to Coogan and Umar, IFL Umar. But now, IFL TV, I want to introduce Oscar, IFL Oscar. What's going on?
Thank you very much. I'm good. How are you? What's happening in the world of Ohara Davies?
Same old. I've been out the scene. I've been keeping quiet, been keeping low. Took some time out I haven't fought in about 6 months, and after my last fight, I was a bit disheartened by how the fight went. I felt it was a bit unfair, but nevertheless, these things happen in life. I took some months out to enjoy life, to find myself. I wanted to know who I am outside of boxing. Like, what do I enjoy doing? What do I do in my day-to-day life? Because you know what, all I've been doing for the past, like the past 5 years that I've been a pro for is gym, home, training camp out in Spain, Marbella, then I'm training out in this place. I haven't got time to enjoy myself and to find out who I am and what I like about life and what I enjoy in life. And I feel like me taking a few months off, it was important for me. And I'm ready to come back.
And you're also a YouTuber now?
Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. Listen, I'm getting views on there. I'm getting views. My last video, I got about 21k
Excuse me,
views.
you're not allowed to endorse other YouTube channels on IFL TV.
Listen, I'm getting views, man.
The most recent one, I want to talk to you about that, is of course the biggest story in boxing at the moment. Jarrell Miller's not once, twice, but 3 failed drugs tests. Just your thoughts?
If he failed one test, then he could lie and say, oh, you know what, I took a pre-workout or it was in a protein shake. Listen, the last one that he got caught for is one that can only be injected into your skin. It can only come by an injection. So he cannot lie. And I remember after he failed the first one, that he came online on his Instagram and he was like, me? I failed a drug test? I feel so shocked and so disheartened. I've never knowingly taken any drugs. But after he failed the second and the third one, listen, he had to come out and admit it and say, you know what, I took that shit. Whatever they say I took it. And he should be banned for life, because if he gets banned for life, that boxing board, they should set a standard. And I feel like at the moment they haven't got any standards, and that's why boxers now are out there and they're taking this and they're taking that, because they know, you know what, if I get caught, I'll get an 18-month fine, I might pay a few £1,000 and I'll be back in. But if the boxing board say, you know what, anyone that fails the drug test, they're banned for life. No boxer will even think about touching that shit. No boxer will even think about, about taking banned shit. But because boxing board are too soft, they have to listen, man. Like they have to up their game. Boxing board, they have to up their game, because anytime I say something bad over social media, I get called in. Ohara said this, Ohara said this, Ohara said that about the Hillsborough, Ohara said this about this person. I get called into the boxing board every day. Well, in the past, not now, in the past. So how about these guys that are out there and are failing drug tests? Like that Cash Ali got banned for 6 months because he bit Price. But this guy taking a banned drug, he can kill someone in there. He can kill someone in there, especially at that weight class. The guy should be banned for life. The guy should be banned for life. He shouldn't be able to fight again. After injecting himself with that shit, he took 3 different things. It's not just one, he took 3 different things. That's bad. That's bad. It's bad. The guy should be banned for life. I don't care what anyone says.
Do you think it's as rife as perhaps we think? Do you think there's more? Because, I feel like there's a difference, and I said this to Rocky Fielding the other day. Of course, he fought Canelo, and there was the scandal with Canelo.
Canelo got found for one thing. Canelo, he could lie and say, you know what, it was in a stake. And even though people know that it's a lie, it wasn't really in a stake, but at the same time, it could have been in a stake. We're not too sure. Because it was only one thing. This guy, he took everything he could find. He took the whole drug shop.
That's what I mean. Do you think it's more rife people starting to perhaps inject things and take it that extra mile?
That's taking it to a different level. Canelo got caught for something that can be found in food. I think Dillian White it was a pre-workout. And I believe Dillian White didn't mean to take what he took. Kid Galahad, it could have been taken in a pre-workout. One time before I fought Andy Keys, I took a Lemsip. If I took a Lemsip Max, I would have had a banned substance in me. And I didn't know about the Lemsip Max. So, I could have taken a banned drug once, that almost happened to me. So, these are things that couldn't be taken by accident. But when you're injecting yourself with this shit, ain't no one out there taking injections by accident. Ain't no one taking an injection, I didn't know that's got a bad substance in it. You knew what the fuck you was taking. And he's quite dumb, he's quite thick, because AJ pays money to make sure that him and his opponents are getting tested as much as they can. And, you know, Big Baby spent the whole camp talking about AJ's on drugs, he's on steroids, how can he put on 20 pound in the space of 2 years, blah, blah, blah. But it turned out that he was the one on the drugs. And I've never known anyone to be on steroids and still be fat. I've never known anyone to be on fucking steroids and still be as fat as that motherfucker. The guy's fat as hell. Listen, stop taking steroids, go and jump on a fucking treadmill. Jump on a fucking treadmill. Do some sit-ups. Jump on a row machine. Listen, take a run. Do some shit. Don't be out there taking banned drugs. Like, it's fucking crazy. I'll be expecting AJ to be on that shit. AJ's big, muscular, strong, but AJ's a clean athlete. And he's ripped. AJ leads by example. Big Baby Miller, I don't know, listen, he just lost out on about £10 million. And he hasn't said anything bad about me, so I don't know, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect him in the comments that I've been making about him, but, you know, I think what he done was wrong, because AJ could have died in it. He could have fought AJ, he could have knocked him out, and especially at that weight class, he was taking shit that makes him hit a lot harder. Like, these guys are fucking heavyweights. They can hit hard anyway. It's like a one-punch knockout at that weight class. Heavyweights get knocked out every fight. So when you're doing that shit, you know, like, he tried to end this man's life. He tried to end AJ's life. I don't care. He tried to end AJ's life.
A name that's been put in the hat as a replacement, but there's also been a bit of controversy around. I have to say it's speculation. Is Luis Ortiz, who seems to have turned down the fight.
They need to call the show off. They need to call June the 1st
Completely?
off. Completely off. Obviously, the reason why that show is still... Listen, so how long have we got until June the 1st? We've got 4 weeks. Listen, anyone AJ fights on 4 weeks' notice, he is going to win. 4 weeks isn't enough time for a world-class boxer to get into training camp, get fit, study, have a game plan, to work on things, and to have a complete camp. 4 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks, it's not enough time. These guys need 10 to 12 weeks, 11 weeks. And, you know, 4 weeks is not enough. Yo, Coogan, IFL Coogan. Listen, as I was saying, 4 or 5 weeks, it's not enough time. And the reason why the show is still going ahead is because money. They got a few sponsors, and they got this and they got that, and they've sorted out so much thing. All that planning has gone into that show that now Eddie Hearn feels like he can't cancel the show because he's got so much money pumped into it, and he's going to earn so much money from that show. But the person that AJ fights isn't coming to fucking win. They're coming to get paid. Do what's right. Call off the show. Call off June the 1st and make it July the 1st, July the 18th. Find some other date.
Fighters like Luis Ortiz and Adam Kalnacki have faced criticism. Of course, there was the Luis Ortiz apparently wanting 10 million. People are saying, look, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Why would you not step in? But you reason with those guys.
Because people that say that are not boxers, people like that are only thinking about 10 million and what 10 million is to them. People that are criticising Ortiz are people that have got £10,000 in the bank. So when you hear that this guy turns down 10 million, they're like, how the fuck do you turn down 10 million? But that's only because you've only got £10,000 in the bank. Luis Ortiz, he's probably got £8-9 million in the bank anyway. So an extra 10 mil is not going to change his life that much. He can do what the fuck he wants. Do you understand what I'm saying? This guy can eat what the fuck he wants. So
well, we heard his biggest purse has been 500 grand for the Deontay Wilder fight.
Well, he's still got millions in the bank. If he fought 500 grand, he's had about 30, 45. No, he's had about 25 fights. So he's got, let's say, £4 or £5 million in the bank. £10 million, yes, it might double what he's got in the bank now, but it's not going to change his life that much. The guy's, this guy still has a big house. He can drive whatever car he wants, and he's good. He's good. He's probably made a few smart investments. And at that, if you've got money, it's not about the paycheck. It's about it being on an even playing field, and it's about getting the right prep. He's not just going to go and take a loss because he wants, £10 million. Like, nah. If you've got money like that, then you can't lure him in with 10 mil. But with these guys that are out there broke as fuck, or people that ain't got no money, you can lure them in. You can lure them in. But listen, when you got money, it's different. It's different when you got money. It's like Dillian White. Dillian White fought AJ the first time. I don't know how much he got paid, but then they offered him the AJ fight again. I think they offered him, was it 5 mil? And he turned it.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was figures around that.
Yeah, figures around that, and then he turned it down. But Dillian White didn't get that much in the first AJ fight, but now he's got money. Dillian White's like, you know what, now I'm the man. I knocked out Derek. I knocked out this person. I'll be that person. I'm Dillian White, and I've got money in the bank now. Listen, 5 mil ain't shit. And, you know, you can't lure them in with dough and then come to, you know, for all these fans right there and they're complaining because they're comparing their bank accounts to the fighters' bank accounts. You can't compare your bank accounts to the fighters' bank accounts.
Well, of course, the people whose bank accounts you're talking about may have booked travelling, may have booked flights. So, do you think they would have called it off if it was perhaps an O2 show, or do you think it's just?
Yes, boxing
it's
fans.
Not as easy as
listen,
just calling off the show.
They need to call off. They have to call off the show because at this minute right now, it's not about, you know, the fans have paid money, the fans are going to be disappointed, blah blah blah. Yes, the fans might, but that's not Eddie Hearn's fault. It's not AJ's fault. It's Big Baby Miller's fault. So the only person to blame for that is Big Baby Miller. These people, they got all their tickets booked and they bought all their tickets and they got all this money in the show, but they're going there to see AJ bang out some guy that's had camp for 4 or 5 weeks, even 3 weeks probably. The guy's probably sat at home now, you know. The guy probably has a Big Mac in his hand right now, and he don't know that he's gonna be you know, and he don't know that he's gonna be up against AJ in the next 4 or 5 weeks. And it's really unfortunate for AJ because, listen, I love AJ. I want him to win in life. I want him to be happy in life. But I feel like June the 1st should be called off, and, you know, but, you know, ultimately it's up to them. They'll do what they want to do. You know, AJ, he's been doing what he's been doing since he's been a pro, and it's worked for him. So, you know, they're going to do what's best for them. But I personally think that the show should probably get called off.
Okay, well, moving on, I just want to ask you about Tunde Ajayi'S comments.
Tunde! Listen, I see people online saying some shit about AJ. I mean, about Tunde. He's phoning me.
Jack Cattrall.
Listen, I'm busy doing my iPhone interview. I'm talking to Oscar, iPhone Oscar, so I'm busy. I'll phone you back. Okay, I'm talking to Oscar, iPhone Oscar. So talking about Tunde now. Tunde was my first ever coach as a pro. He was in the corner for my first fight and my second fight. I see Kevin Mitchell come online on Twitter saying some shit about Tunde and the pad work. My experience with Tunde, that Tunde is a man with a great ego. Tunde's ego is up there. Tunde's ego is past the fucking sky. But Tunde is a great coach. Tunde is an amazing coach, and you can't judge him on his coaching abilities based on his ego. The man might have an ego, but this guy is taking Anthony Yarde, an amateur that had only about 12 fights, to now on the verge of a world title shot earning millions. What can you say wrong about the man? The man's only done good for Anthony Yarde's boxing career. Don't get me wrong, the man has a fucking massive ego. But when it comes to understanding this game, boxing, Tunde understands boxing. And I feel like his understanding of boxing allows him to have an ego. This guy can have an ego. Why? Because he's been doing a great thing for Yarde and for his boxing career.
Can you understand the criticism though when he said that Anthony Yarde's skill set's better than that of Andre Ward?
No, I can't understand it. I'll tell you why. I agree with what Tunde said. I agree with it.
You agree with the statement?
I agree with it. Why? I believe Tunde lives in his own world. Tunde lives in his own world, and Tunde believes what he wants to believe. And if you don't believe that your fighter can be the best, then then you're obviously in the wrong game. Tunde believes that Anthony Yarde can be better than Andre Ward, or he is even better than Andre Ward now. He lives in his own world, but he's been living in his own world from Anthony Yarde's first ever fight as a pro. And has he not done Anthony Yarde good? Has he done Anthony Yarde any bad? Has Anthony Yarde got beat? Is he on the verge of a world title shot? Yes. So what bad has he done? This guy believes that that Yarde is, that he can be, that he is as good as, as Andre Ward. That shows you what belief he's got in his fighter. I can't say anything against that, because if Yarde's got beat, if he's been, if he got beat, if he's looked shit in his past 3 or 4 fights, if he hasn't done everything that was expected of him, well then I might say, okay, Tunde, I think you're gone a bit over the edge now. But Yarde's taking out all of these guys with ease, and he only had about 12 amateur fights. Tunde's done a great fucking job. But don't get me wrong, Tunde's ego is above the fucking sky. And I've known Tunde for years. Listen, he was my first coach. Me and him clashed in the gym at times because my ego's up there and his ego's up there. But at the same time, Tunde understands boxing. And even though Kevin Mitchell said what he said about the pads, even though Kevin Mitchell said what he said about the pads, I disagree with what Kevin Mitchell said about Tunde. Just because the pads might not have worked, just because the pads, they might have not worked for Kevin Mitchell is worked for Anthony Yarde. You can't, it's like, yeah. So the path isn't for everyone, but it's taken Anthony Yarde, as far as he's got.
We're hearing reports that Anthony Yarde might have to travel to Russia for the fight. Do you give him much of a chance?
Listen, Tunde knows what he's doing. Tunde's not a dumb coach. Tunde is taking Anthony Yarde this far. It's not about what chance I give him. It's about what chance he gives himself and about what chance Tunde gives him. I'm not his coach. I'm just his friend. I don't train him in the gym. I don't see him in the gym. It's about what Tunde thinks of him and about what he thinks of himself. But I know if he does go out there and he does fight, it's because he must know something that I don't know. He must know something that you don't know. He must know something that all the boxing fans don't know. All the boxing fans, they need to shut their fucking mouths. Boxing fans need to shut their fucking mouths and let the guy do what he's doing, because it's taken Tunde years to get what he's got. People feel like, Tunde's only been in this game for 2 years. Nah, Tunde, he was the first coach in Kevin Mitchell's first fight. Kevin Mitchell's first fight was in Kevin Mitchell's first fight was in 2003. Tunde so he's been a pro coach since about 2000. He's been a pro coach for over 18 to 19 years. And it's only now that he's been on the scene. He spent 18 to 19 years making mistakes. Tunde spent 18 years making mistakes, and he's made hella mistakes. Tunde's made so many mistakes. I've known him. He's had a few fighters come to him, fighters go, because of the mistakes that he's made. And whether he agrees with that or not, listen, fighters have left him because of the mistakes that he's made. Fighters weren't patient with him. But still, he was a man of mistakes. And it's taken him 19 years to come up with a blueprint, and that blueprint he's now given to Anthony Yarde, and it's taken Anthony Yarde this far. So, with 18 years experience, if he's gonna take his guy out to Russia to fight, I don't know as much as he knows. I can't comment on that.
Well, I'm just gonna leave that there, the Anthony Yarde situation there, and I'm just gonna say, finally, when can we see you next in the ring?
We should have an announcement within the next few days. I've got a fight date, I've got an opponent, back to camp, hard work, dedication. Boxing is what it is. I'm going to fight again. Hard work, going to work hard, and I'm going to do the business.
Good man, well, we all look forward to it. Ohara Davies, thank you for giving us some of your time.
What's your name again? Oscar, IFL Oscar.
Apparently so, yeah.
Guys, Oscar, IFL Oscar, shout out. My first interview with Oscar. Oscar, IFL Oscar. Listen, Umar, IFL Umar, I know you're good. I love you, Umar. But this day is about Oscar, IFL Oscar. So, yeah.
Ohara.